Cormier, presented by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925. All right, these pound-for-pound UFC rankings brought to you by EA Sports UFC 3. Get the new limited time Icon Edition. Scratch that. Brock Lesnar is making his way to the octagon as we get ready for this heavyweight championship fight tonight. How's that for a stage setter? Back to EA Sports. These pound-for-pound rankings brought to you by EA Sports UFC 3. Get the new limited time Icon Edition on Xbox One and PS4 until July 17th. Receive exclusive in-game content, plus 5 new playable Icon fighters, including Kimbo Slice, Tito Ortiz, and more. Well, if this crowd needed an uplifting moment, perhaps the presence of Brock Lesnar will suffice.
Let's see that fight right now.
And there's Brock Lesnar greeting UFC President Dana White.
Brother.
How you doing, man? Good.
Good to see you, my man.
I'd like to do your podcast sometime.
Anytime. You let me know.
Brock Lesnar calling for a spot on the Joe Rogan Experience. Great to have Lesnar in the building. Clearly an interested observer here tonight.
Well, he was pointing to the octagon, and he was saying something to Dana, and Dana was nodding. He said, I don't know if that means whoever wins, I want to fight them.
He said, put me in there with those two.
Yeah, put me in there with
That's what he said. He said, put me in there with one of them.
I mean, I'm so baffled by that last fight. I really don't know what to say. I mean, we're calling for Brock Lesnar, a guy who's been doing pro wrestling for the past 5 years, to jump back in, well, other than the Mark Hunt fight, come back in here and save us. This is crazy.
Well, good news is we have a super fight upon us. It is the rarest of rarities in combat sports. A clash of champion versus champion tonight. In short order, we will see if Stipe Miocic can continue his remarkable heavyweight run and spoil Daniel Cormier's attempt to make history.
I always said that when I started doing this, I wanted to be remembered.
And that is it! And still, Daniel Cormier has done it!
What can I do to ensure that every time people talk about the greats, they mention Daniel Cormier? For me, to become a two-division champion, it means legacy. Legacy stays forever. Everything else fades away. I need to go out and try to make a statement. They call the heavyweight champ the baddest man on the planet. I beat Stipe Miocic and become the heavyweight champion and the light heavyweight champion. I'm not only the baddest man on the planet, I may be the greatest fighter of all time.
Everyone, doesn't pick me. Everyone thinks I'm not worthy enough.
My whole life I've been told you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of always being doubted. I have nothing to prove. I just shut people up.
Oh, that is it! Stipe Miocic.
I'll keep doing it till the day I die. Till I'm 6 feet deep. Don't tell me I can't do something because I'm going to do something. And kiss my ass.
Big right hand there, and that is it. Stipe Miocic. Big shots. It is all over.
This guy's a phenom. He's 1 in a million.
Oh!
Well, guess what? He lost.
Oh, he's hurt.
I defended it 3 times. No one's ever done that. I'm the greatest heavyweight. That's still mine. That ain't going nowhere.
The Oklahoma State University All-American, Daniel Cormier.
At the beginning of my career, I was a heavyweight, and I fought there for 13 fights. I fought great fighters. I fought Josh Barnett when he was in the top 5 in the world.
Barnett now the high cross and a slam takedown by Cormier.
I fought Bigfoot Silva when he was in the top 5 in the world when he had just beat Fedor Emelianenko. I beat Frank Mir when he was in the top 5 in the world. I beat Roy Nelson when he was ranked number 6 in the world. I had a ton of success up there, and I intend to keep it rolling at UFC 226. I mean, most guys wouldn't do what I'm attempting to do, but I wouldn't do it if I didn't expect to win.
It is all over! Daniel Cormier!
I want to be a guy that goes down in history.
Yeah, I don't worry about legacy. I'm just going to keep winning.
Stipe Miocic on the world champ!
DC's good at talking, too. He's a great talker. He talks things up. Well, I'm going to shut you up.
The baddest man on the planet, ladies and gentlemen. Hell yeah!
I think Stipe Miocic is a phenomenal champion, but at the end of the day, all good things come to an end, and I'm going to be the one to beat Stipe Miocic. On July 7th, I become the second double champion in UFC history.
No one will ever take this away from me. not gonna happen. I worked way too damn hard to get this belt. I ain't giving up this belt for a long time. I tell you that right now. So I don't really care who I fight. I'm gonna win.
Representing the American Kickboxing Academy, San Jose, California, here is the two-time United States Olympic wrestler, the UFC light heavyweight champion, now the head coach of Gilroy High School's wrestling team as well, the future Hall of Famer, Daniel Cormier has arrived.
There's two things to take into consideration when you think about Daniel Cormier fighting Stipe Miocic as a heavyweight. One, the amount of success that he's had at heavyweight. Two, he's a short guy for the heavyweight division, and Stipe's not a kicker. Stipe is far more of a puncher. He's absolutely capable of throwing kicks, but that's not in his wheelhouse of standard techniques. He uses takedown defense and sharp boxing to win. Daniel's going to be lower than him. It'll be difficult to reach him. Daniel's going to try to shoot in and get underneath him and try to take him down. It's a really interesting matchup.
The key for this matchup for me is when does Daniel Cormier have the intelligence to clinch? A lot of this is trying to make it a little bit boring at times. He's going to have to grab a hold of Stipe, because if he does not, Stipe is a smart fighter. He doesn't throw one punch at a time like a lot of the opponents that he's fought. He throws punches and bunches. He starts to the bottom. He utilizes his jab. He has boxing fundamentals, and he starts with kicks.
Tonight's Prep Point is brought to you by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925. Some have suggested a rematch with Alexander Gustafsson was as difficult a fight, if not more difficult, than this particular challenge. It's been a long time since we've seen DC at heavyweight. Dom, how much do you think the division has changed and evolved since 2013?
Oh, I mean, I agree. I think Alexander Gustafsson is the biggest challenge at 205 pounds for DC. Although this is a challenge in itself, and he's making a super fight for the fans, and he's making a super fight for Stipe, who's pretty much cleaned out the division. Why not make this fight happen, especially against a guy who's been extremely successful and undefeated at heavyweight and has an Olympic background and currently has a title. Do not sleep on Daniel Cormier. He has the skill set, he has the mentality, and he knows how to win fights, and I truly believe he has the power with this extra weight on. I think that'll help his durability, and I think it's going to help him be able to carry the weight and land with more power to potentially have knockout power at this weight class, even against Stipe.
I completely agree with you, and I particularly agree with you in that there's no other viable heavyweight contenders that are interesting and compelling. Who else is there other than Brock Lesnar? Who else is there that can sell pay-per-views? Who else is it that people are interested in? Volkov, that's the only guy, Alexander Volkov, and unfortunately, people don't know about him yet. He might be the best heavyweight in the world right now, other than these two gentlemen that are in the cage right now.
Well, Daniel Cormier has been on every big stage in mixed martial arts that you can imagine. He believes without a shadow of a doubt that he is the superior mixed martial arts athlete, and here and now he will try to prove as much and leave here a two-division UFC champion.
Till
the no-nonsense UFC heavyweight champion, Stipe Miocic. On paper, Joe, this is the most accomplished UFC heavyweight champion this octagon has ever seen.
Absolutely. I mean, the consensus best ever, really. I mean, you think about the guys he's beaten, what he's done, and the fact that he's the only guy to ever defend the title 3 times, and an opportunity to break 4 tonight if he wins against DC, and has the most disinterested expression you'll ever see from a world champion entering into a cage fight. I mean, look, this guy's a beast. He does everything great. He's an incredibly hard worker, still an active firefighter, maintains that job while a world champion. And just a phenomenal human being, and a perfect example of what we would aspire and what we would like a champion to be.
Yeah, I agree. He stays out of trouble. He doesn't talk trash in a negative way. I mean, he'll still talk it when he needs to, but he's an example by the way he acts. He's not an example by the things that he says and getting in trouble. And he's a true example. And not to mention, he's been a firefighter pretty much his whole career. The amount of stress that this man deals with on a daily basis makes this seem like nothing. I really believe that. Being a firefighter is a nasty line of work. Seeing things you've never seen before, exchanging your life 3 days on, 3 days off for everybody else. He takes that in here, and this is just a day off for him.
I think you made a very good point with that.
And there is Machine Gun Kelly, of course, his music blaring through the speakers as usual, as the heavyweight champion makes his walk to the octagon here tonight. 6 consecutive wins for Stipe. A lot of people think he has the power advantage. Very interesting to see how they match up in terms of the speed tonight.
Yeah, I would absolutely say he has the power advantage. The far bigger, naturally larger man with less body fat on him. But DC has power himself and for sure has a wrestling advantage.
Well, Croatia took care of business in the World Cup earlier today. We will see if the Croatian-American can follow suit now. This Tale of the Tape brought to you by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925. Miocic 35, Cormier will be 40 on the 20th of March. Stipe, the taller man by 5 inches. We will see if he can maximize what is a 7.5-inch reach advantage. Of course, Cormier coming in 3.5 pounds heavier than the heavyweight champion. All right, now for the introductions for our main event super fight. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Modelo, sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Chairman Anthony Marnell, Executive Director Bob Bennett, Commissioners Stacey Alonso, Christopher Alt, Dallas E. Hahn, and Robert McBeath. Our 3 judges scoring this contest with octagon side are Dave Hagan, Chris Lee, and Glenn Trowbridge. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon, Mark Goddard. This bout is sponsored by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925. Metro PCS brings you knockout coverage of the UFC on a pound-for-pound strong network that covers 99% of the people in the U.S. And Motel 6, ready to tap out? Check into Motel 6 and save. We'll leave the light on for you. Book online at motel6.com. Now, for those in attendance and UFC fans watching around the world, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live from the sold-out T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, it's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 20 wins, 1 loss, 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 246 pounds. Fighting out of San Jose, California, presenting the former Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix champion and the reigning undisputed UFC Light Heavyweight champion, the challenger, Daniel DC Cormier. And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 18 wins, 2 losses. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 242.5 pounds. Fighting out of Independence, Ohio, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Stipe Miocic.
Okay, gentlemen, you understand the rules you're fighting under? I want you to listen to me at all times. Keep yourself protected. When I say stop, you stop. Touch gloves. Let's do this.
Never before has a UFC light heavyweight champion moved up to challenge the active heavyweight champion. That is our reality here and now in Las Vegas tonight. Daniel Cormier trying to leave here with a piece of unprecedented UFC history in this modern era. Stipe Miocic trying to successfully defend this belt for a 4th time. And at long last, the action begins right now. Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925. Cormier in the white, Stipe in the black and gold, befitting a champion. Appears to be a pro-Stipe crowd here tonight. Miocic trying to close the distance here early.
And there's the clinch DC's going to look for. There's the clinch. He wants the clinch. Right when you see Stipe start throwing combos, watch DC look for underhooks and to break the posture of Stipe.
Nice low kick by Daniel. Stipe has been landing a couple of hard shots. Ooh, big right hand by Daniel.
First clinch situation here, Dom.
Yeah, and it's because DC, notice how DC gives the underhook because he wants Stipe to grab him. He'd rather get in these types of scenarios early than be punching back and forth with Stipe. Create a wrestling match. That's where DC's comfortable. And Stipe looks very strong. This looks much stronger right here.
He's landing some big punches too.
The height is a real problem when you're giving up underhooks. So you see how DC has the overhook here. He's lifting, Stipe can lift DC right off the mat because of the height difference. So DC's the one who needs the underhooks. He's going to win in these scenarios here.
Cormier had some issues early on in training camp with the extra weight, but felt as good as he's ever felt towards the end of camp in terms of his sparring.
Watch the back of the head, Daniel. It's going to work, guys. You want to stay there, show me something.
Miocic controlling his right wrist here. 2 minutes gone by, round 1 of a possible 5.
That's some tremendous strength to be able to hold on to DC's hand like that. And that might be shocking for DC. This is a real heavyweight.
Looked like DC landed a right hand on that ear. Stiff jab is there for Cormier.
You immediately could tell the size difference.
Watch those hands, guys. Keep the fingers
when they grab each other. That's where you could tell the most. And that's what I was saying. When you're grappling, this weight difference is huge.
Oh, nice knee from Stipe.
Stipe's hitting him with some really good shots. And these are probably some punches, other than Rumble Johnson, probably some of the hardest shots he's ever felt. Nice knee to the body there.
Looks like some swelling under the right eye of Stipe.
Watch the fingers, Daniel. Keep your hands
and something that DC's coaches were all saying is he's hitting harder. The weight is making him knock people out more. We don't want to talk about it, but he really is knocking everybody out. So let's see, I mean, if the power really translates for him. It looks like it is. He's already got Stipe a little bit cut in that eye from the jab and the uppercuts that he's throwing once he breaks the posture of Stipe in that clinch. Ooh, nice hook by Stipe.
Like maybe an elbow from Miocic. Nice combination from the chin.
And that's what I'm talking about. Stipe throws combinations. There's not a lot of heavyweights that throw combos like that.
Oh, he stunned him with that jab. DC pops him a couple of times.
Already been more punches thrown.
Big 1-2 from Cormier.
So he's still doing that lean, Cormier, but he doesn't got to worry about a southpaw left high kick coming up to his face, so it's not even a threat.
Oh, it looked like something caught Miocic in the eye.
Stop, one time. Stay there. I saw. Over there. No coaching.
We'll have the production try to isolate that, folks, to see what it was. I didn't catch it.
Daniel, come here.
Here we go. They've got it. They're on the
Listen,
ball.
my friend. I need you to
Let's take a
clean
look
up.
at it.
I've already said 3 times, keep the hands closed. I know it's difficult when you're coming together.
Yeah.
I need the hands closed, okay? Keep them closed. Come back in. Time in. Let's go.
So a stern warning from Mark Goddard,
Keep
who
the
said
hand
to DC
closed.
he's already warned him 3
Close
times.
the hand, Daniel.
And there's another warning from Mark Goddard. So we'll see if DC can break that habit here. 1 minute to go in round 1.
That was horrible. There's a switch kick to the body by DC. Oh, nice low kick by the champion. And that's something you don't see a lot from Stipe. Stipe does not throw a lot of kicks, primarily boxing based.
Miocic landed a significant right hand there.
Already more strikes landed and thrown during the entire Derek Lewis-Francis Ngannou fight. Oh, look at that, 1-2 by DC.
And then he clinches. Exactly what you gotta do. Oh, he hurt it! He got it done! He got it done!
Daniel Cormier is the UFC heavyweight champion!
Oh man, that is history, ladies and gentlemen. You'll never see it again.
Look at Stipe kick. He just stood up, but he's still hurt.
Yep.
One of the greatest of all time, Daniel Cormier. Unprecedented, rarefied air.
Incredible.
The fact that he won by knockout.
That's what all his coaches were saying. He translates well at this weight. The weight he wears well, he hits harder. He's knocked out everybody he's trained with. That's what they were saying, and here it is.
Stipe Miocic set a new standard for this division, and Daniel put all of that to bed tonight.
Insane. You'll see it again. Look at this here. They're in the clinch. He breaks free. Bam! On the chin. Stipe goes down. Boom, boom, boom. Out cold. Crazy. Look at this again. They're in the clinch. DC lands a perfect right hand. The legs go out. Boom!
And right here, this is what it's about. Clinching at the right time and then dirty boxing at the right time to nullify the height and the power of Stipe from distance. That's what Cormier had to do. He had to choose the right time to box at distance with combinations and then close in the gap. As we see him grab to the clinch, and now he dirty boxes right as he breaks away. It creates opportunities for him. Boom! Overhand right in the clinch, which is basically one of his staples. He got a good overhand right, but you see the power is serious in Daniel Cormier at this weight class. He's a true heavyweight to beat Stipe.
Well, and you said before the fight you believed him to be a true heavyweight. He is now 14-0 in this division, and these are going to be happy tears for the new baddest man on the planet, potentially with 2 UFC titles to now defend.
And now, I think we're going to see Daniel Cormier say, "What you got, Brock Lesnar? I just got a feeling. What do you think?"
The official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS. Get knockout coverage of the UFC on a network that covers 99% of people in the US. The night belongs to Daniel Cormier. We all are witnessing a piece of UFC history here tonight as Cormier ends the storied heavyweight title reign of the Croatian-American Stipe Miocic. They are all standing inside this T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas tonight. Daniel Cormier literally setting the mixed martial arts world on its axis. And how's that for a victory lap? Some said maybe he's coming in too heavy. A lot of speculation, betting line moving all over the place, Dominic. But Daniel Cormier reigns supreme tonight as he upends Stipe Miocic. One final time tonight. Here is Bruce Buffer to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 33 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by knockout and new undisputed UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Daniel DC Cormier.
Take it all in, my friend. Take it all in. How does that feel?
Joe, I was a heavyweight for a long time, and I loved the division. I never knew what I could become, but tonight I got the answer. I'm a two-division champion, baby!
And the way you won it, let's take a look at it, DC. Look at the big screen. You were in the clinch, and you connected with this picture-perfect right hand, and you saw him go limp. Talk me through this.
In the study, we noticed that Stipe backs out of the clinch with his hands a little bit low. And I was able to throw this right hand. Hey, I weighed in a little heavy yesterday. It's because I was knocking out all of my training partners. Now I got to do it in the octagon.
Now, DC, this brings you to a very elite class of human beings, one of the rare people to win titles in 2 different weight classes, and one of only 2 to hold 2 weight classes simultaneously.
Joe, I am 39 years old. And I've been second a lot of times. But today, I finally accomplished everything. From crying in this very same octagon last year, almost a year to the day, to becoming the UFC heavyweight champion. Joe, it is the most amazing thing I've ever experienced. Now, Joe, let me get this microphone for a second. Hey, listen to DC. Listen to DC. There's a guy that I've known for a long time. He's a wrestler. He's an All-American. He's a former UFC champion. I never thought I would fight him, but Brock Lesnar, get your ass in here.
Folks, I'm here with Brock Lesnar. Brock, what does this all mean to you, Brock?
Let me tell you something. I walked into this building and watched the heavyweight disasters from the beginning. Nagano's a piece of shit. Miocic's a piece of shit. DC, I'm coming for you, motherfucker!
Brock, get out of my octagon. I got some pictures to take.
Come on, DC.
Get out of here.
Daniel Cormier prophetic when he said to his family a few days ago, Daddy's got us. And there he is with his kids, Marquita, Daniel Jr. Daddy had you tonight. And that post-fight interview brought to you by EA Sports UFC 3. Get the new limited time Icon Edition on Xbox One and PS4 until July 17th. And receive exclusive in-game content plus 5 new playable Icon fighters, including Kimbo Slice, Tito Ortiz, and more. UFC